Hey, this isn't a joke. I'm actually building a $3 million a year business in public, and I'm documenting every step. I'm showing you guys everything that goes into it. So this is what I'm doing today. I'm creating 2 cold email campaigns, and then I'm sourcing audiences for those campaigns. I'm then going to iterate on some of that cold email copy, narrate how I do my writing. Then finally, I'm going to send 3 Upwork applications top. This is what I'm going to be doing during my build in public phase. I have 2 others. I always start every one of these videos with a YouTube comment Q&A just to keep you guys posted on what's going on, fill you in if you guys have questions about the AI automation agency business model, and then practice what I preach, which is delivering value right off the bat. Then finally, I'm going to do growth stats across YouTube, Instagram, and products. Okay, so that building in public stage, that's what we're going to be doing in probably 10 or 15 minutes. Before I do, this is the main channel here, and then this is the daily updates channel. So in order to answer your questions, I scroll all the way down to the very bottom and then get the last one. Looks like the last one's from Contact Johnson. He says, Nick, do you mind if I send a Loom video as my default cold email strategy, which does terrible for me, by the way? My other approach was trying to send a lead magnet, which was a Google Doc. First question, how do you reconcile the scale required for cold email with the tailored approach of sending a Loom with every email? Honestly, I'm not even doing them custom anymore because I'm just cranking several hundred emails a day. How do I reconcile the scale? Well, these are 2 fundamentally different approaches. There's the low volume but extraordinarily high customization approach of sending a Loom video recorded to solve a problem, deliver a ton of value, and then build that warm personal connection that you send to maybe 10, 20, possibly 30 people a day. Then there's the high volume, but typically low result approach of telling 1 million people, hey, do you mind if I send you a Loom video? And then when they respond to you, you actually do the recording of the video. So the whole idea there is, do you mind if I send a Loom video is extraordinarily overdone. Everybody and their mom has ran a strategy like this. And so obviously the market is saturated with that tactic. It's not very good anymore. Second question, I know you mentioned I'll just book you 20 appointments this week or you don't pay. As a good offer. And I'm more than willing to offer guarantees like that. But I'm not even booking 20 appointments for myself. What are the other offers that work relatively well? I think you're overthinking it here, Contact Johnson. Why don't you just try booking 10 appointments? Hell, just try 5. You know how I arrived at 20? I legitimately tried 5. And then it worked. So then I was like, okay, I can do way more. So I tried 10 and it worked. So I was like, I can do way more. I was like, 15 doesn't sound super cool. It's not a round number. So why don't we try 20? And guess what? It worked. There is no method to any of this. The only thing that I'm doing here is I'm just throwing some guarantee that I think I can hit at the wall. I'm seeing how well that performs. Then if it doesn't perform as well, I will try something else over and over and over again. So that is the main thing. I always like to guarantee some sort of quantified output because it's really easy for me to track and it's really easy for the client to say yes to. The thing my automations have in common is they save the owner and founder time. I'm saving folks like 10 hours a week. The only problem is it doesn't seem like it's performing well on the cold email front, which means it's probably not one of the sexy problems that you mentioned. Also, my copy could suck. I don't know. Yeah, for sure. Looks like somebody asked for the copy. Your copy could suck. Let me see. Yeah, the icebreaker sucks for sure. That's cool. Have you split tested putting the offer up here? Is that why you put the offer over here? Normally I put the offer down here, something like that. Okay, no strings, just a doc. Listen, this is good, but what would be better is if you actually sent the asset, right? I'm assuming you don't have the asset, so that's fine. Saw Euphoria's push for seamless group care and flat rate plans. Hey, Chris sent you something. It's probably less perceivably customized as, hey, Chris, love your stuff, man. Been following you for a while. Just put something together for you, or just sent you something, or this is a long shot, but I just sent you something that I think will do X, Y, and Z. You want to make this seem a little bit rougher around the edges. Right now, it's really polished, and the degree to which this is polished is actually working against you. Also, it's tough for me to know how well this performed without some sort of numbers. So if you know the positive reply rate, just reply rate in general, that would help a lot. But those are my high-level tips. That's what I do. Hey, Nick, thanks for all the value. I spent the last 1.5 months deep in cold email. Over 20,000 emails sent, 1 positive reply. I brought in 2 experts to audit everything, copy, setup, deliverability, followed each recommendation precisely, tested over 1,000 emails per variation, no change. I've studied the content, implemented the tactics, and ran every play that's talked about online. Still no traction. Now I'm at a crossroads. I can't afford a $1,000 coach as a student. I'm considering leaving cold email behind and focusing on building AI solutions for businesses delivering platforms like Upwork. I already know how to do basic automations, but it'll take me a whole week to touch up on those skills. In your position, what would I do? 20,000 emails sent, 1 positive reply. Let me be clear. This question, just like Johnson's question, just like everybody's question about cold email, boils down to your copy not being effective for your target audience. There is no secret here. Your copy is just not effective for the audience it is being sent to, because you can always make copy that is effective to a target audience. Okay, so you can either take your current copy and you can send it to a different audience, or you can continue sending copy to the same audience, but change the copy so that it's more effective, right? When you have 20,000 emails sent, you receive one positive reply. That's not very good. I mean, I started this Instantly campaign yesterday, or 3 days ago or something. And I think this is 12 opportunities now. So 12 opportunities, and then I sent the vast majority of this in the last couple days. So if I just take out today, 1,860 plus 823 plus 300. Off of 2,983 emails, I was generating 12 opportunities, which is a 0.4% positive reply rate. So if I sent as many emails as you did, which would be, I guess, like 6.87 or something like that, I would have gotten, I think, 80 opportunities. Okay? So the same number of emails that you sent, you got one positive reply, I would have gotten 80. The only difference between us is that my copy is slightly more effective for my target audience. Now, is my copy amazing? No. As we see here, this reply rate is actually very much on the lower end of reply rates I've received. But keep in mind that reply rate is not the important thing. It's positive reply rate. That's what matters, right? So I have a 0.4% positive reply rate. There are people out there with 10% reply rates, but like none of them are positive. That's what you should be optimizing for. Okay, so listen, for you, it's 100% a copywriting issue, man. You may have studied the content, implemented the tactics, ran every play that's talked about. No, you haven't ran every play. I understand you're demotivated, but let's be real. It's not that this is not a solvable problem. I mean, I'm doing it live in front of you, right? So it's obviously possible. Just a matter of making your copy effective for your target audience. There's probably something tactically that you're just consistently screwing up on. Probably has to do with just like the way that you're thinking about cold email. Cold email is like at a bar, you're wearing a suit. Somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, what do you do?" And then you just explain what you do. That's the vibe you want. You don't want to be like, 3 ways to save 50% or more on marketing services. You don't want to be like, "Hey, Pete, are you struggling with marketing services? Well, that's where Johnson and whatever comes in. We optimize your stack." You don't want to talk like that. We want to talk is like, "Hey, man, so what do you do?" "Oh, yeah, I build systems for B2B agencies." It's like, "Oh, okay. Like what kind of systems?" "Hey, I build growth systems for B2B agencies that make them on average $15,000 to $20,000 more a month." It's like, that's your pitch. And you're just talking to them. You're not trying to make it perfect, trying to polish it off. It's literally like, "Hey, how do I make this thing seem like I wrote it and sent it over to Nick, like while I was waiting for my Uber on the side of the street?" You know? All right. Deshmu says, "Hey, Nick, recently landed my first client for AI voice agents for D2C brands. She's from Europe. After watching your vids, I get to know all about the laws like GDPR, EU, AI, all this. So I have a doubt. Should I build that agent in her own system? If I do that, then the data will be secured in her own system, I think. Or what do you suggest?" Yeah, I build all my flows in the client systems. So get up and running on their NA, get up and running on their make.com, get up and running on their servers, have them give you the credentials, and then just do it all on theirs. This avoids you from having to hand off if they ever stop working with you. It avoids you from having to worry about a number of things, really. But it's just all domiciled with the client. Client ends up taking on whatever liability. Lava Proof says, "Nick, I'm currently reaching out to recruiting agencies offering AI candidate screening. After how many leads or emails sent without a client book should I realize I'm doing something very wrong? I'm sending campaigns from Instantly to 800 recruiters with 5 follow-ups each. I'm also thinking of maybe doing manual outreach, offering website building using Bolt to get my first quick win. Do you think that's a good idea? I can only afford the basic growth plan on Instantly. That's why my sending amount is so low." Understood. So how many leads or emails sent without a client book should I realize I'm doing something very wrong? Tough for me to say. I feel like if you sent about 1,000 outbound leads, you've waited a week, and you haven't received at least one meeting, you're probably doing something wrong. But your cycle is a lot slower than most people want. Most people want to like send emails and then that day make a change. You don't have the volume to really be able to make those decisions. This campaign that I'm running with the 0.7% reply rate gross, this 0.7 is actually probably like a 1.3 because all of these leads were sent in the last 3 days. So some people will get back to me over the course of the next few days from the emails I sent now. Right? So you can't really fully evaluate whether or not what you're doing is working until you give yourself a little bit of time. One thing I can tell you is before you send 5 follow-ups, just verify your messaging works. So only send 1 follow-up until you have a reply rate of like, 2% or something like that. Then you can worry about increasing the number of follow-ups. Because right now with 5 follow-ups, 1, you don't have very high mailbox capacity. So because of your low number of mailboxes, you're splitting all of your volume across what looks like one main email, then 5 follow-ups, so 6 total emails. If you're capable of sending 270 emails a day, you're not actually sending 270 new leads. You're sending 1/6 of that. So you're sending 45 emails, which is not very good, right? And then 2, if you're sending shitty messaging, people are just going to absolutely body you. They're just going to mark you in spam everywhere. Okay. One more from Kazoo Cat. Hey, Nick, how do you deal with contractors at Upwork as a client? I had my 3rd call with the contractor today. He was pressuring me to release the money despite me saying that the work has to be reviewed first by the internal team. Is this common on Upwork? It was a very surreal experience. 3rd call with the contractor today. So sorry. Okay, you're a client. He was pressuring you to release the money. Oh, dude, like you have all the leverage here. You could like give him a shitty review. You don't have to put up with this. On Upwork, you have their balls in a vice, my friend. So there's no pressuring you to release the money. You just send a message like, hey, Peter, I understand where you're coming from. I don't like that you're pressuring me to do this. I'm going to take 3 days to review this over with my team. If that doesn't work for you, then we can chat about bringing Upwork in to do some arbitration or something. You don't need to worry about any of this stuff, Kazoo Cat. There's a million people all with their dicks in their hands, just fuming, just gushing to work with you. Okay, cool. I'm going to leave it there. Let's now do let's go back here. Let's do some growth stats. Growth stats are where I go through my little board here, which I've been now tracking for, I don't know, how long have I been tracking for? Looks like 153 days now since I started. My growth is way off this chart. That's crazy. Remember when I was like back over here and I was tracking this stuff day by day? This was momentous when the Instagram crossed the YouTube. That was crazy. It's been months since then. So I have a whole daily record of everything that I've done, which is, I like to think, pretty sick. Anyway, what I do next is I just go to my channels and then I stack everything up. So the daily updates channel has grown by 100 subs. My main channel here has grown what looks like by almost 1,000 subs. And then my Instagram channel is, I don't talk about it very often, but it's almost at 250,000 subs. Let's do this. 1,719. So what I always care about is the relative metric, 0.6% growth on the main channel. That's not the best. 1.3 on the daily updates. That's huge. I mean, like, let's just extrapolate this growth. Like, I love doing. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I go to the average 1.10, I can do a little bit of math. 1.10 means 1.011 raised to, let's say, next month times my current number. Sorry. In 30 days, I'll have somewhere around 11,000 subscribers on this daily updates channel. In 60 days, I should have almost 15,000. In 90 days, it'd be 20,000, almost double at this rate, assuming that I'm growing at that average. Now, that average has not actually been true. Some days I've grown a lot more. Like, for instance, if I were to take a 7-day average here, like, check this out. I guess I can't take that 7 days. But anyway, it's almost 3%. So it could be higher, it could be lower. We'll see. All right, so time to get into the part of the video that hopefully everybody actually cares about. It is the live growing my agency. So here's what's on my plate. I'm going to be tracking this using the schedule tracker. And I'm going to be taking some statistics here. What I'm doing today is I'm creating 2 more campaigns and I'm sourcing audiences. I'm then iterating cold email copy and sending 3 Upwork applications. And when I say top here, what I've realized is that it is time infeasible for me to do Upwork applications, unfortunately. As much as I like doing them at high volumes, like, one day I want to do like 25, 30. I don't really think that would make much sense just because I have access to cold email, obviously, which is the big scalable thing that most people care about. So I'm going to send between 1 to 3 Upwork applications a day. That way I'm going to have enough time to actually do the stuff that I want. Because 3 Upwork applications a day at 4.5 minutes, which is the average time I've been doing, is already 13.5 minutes. I'd like to spend between 15 to 20 minutes actually growing the agency every day, aside from sales calls and stuff like that. So I will be doing 3 still, and I'm going to continue doing some Upwork apps. But I'm not expecting a ton from that. It's more so just like keep the momentum going. Also just get back in the habit of discussing things as a freelancer / agency, not necessarily as like this big dick YouTuber, because I feel like that's not optimal for closing deals. Well, I know it's not optimal for closing deals outbound. So create 2 more campaigns and source audiences. What do I mean by this? Well, I have this one campaign and it's actually working pretty well. From the outside in, people probably won't think it's working really well, 0.7%. But I mean, as I mentioned, like mathematically, I had like, 12, it's like 0.4% positive reply rate. I sent most of these emails really recently. It's actually, in the last day or 2. So these numbers are not inflated, right? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like as somebody that sees cold email campaigns every day, um, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with the opportunities that I'm generating. So obviously this is working, right? The question is it working as well as it could be? The answer to that is no. It is most definitely not working as well as it could be. Last time I ran an equivalent campaign, I got something like a 3% reply rate with this copy, 3.5 with my first go. And now I'm getting a 0.7. Let's just say it's actually 1.3 if I just like pause today and just let like all those old replies come in. That's still like a 2.5x, right? So there's probably some angle I could take. The thing is, there's angles that I could take with the copy, right? But there's also angles I could take with the audience. Remember how earlier I mentioned that poor performance on a campaign, it almost always, literally always means for the most part that like your copy is just not effective for your target audience. Well, you have two options, or you can adjust your copy like I'm doing, and you can also adjust your audience. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send to more people, but I'm going to do so across different niches. Okay. So, I mean, I like the fact that I've already set this videography. I'm just going to duplicate it. That's going to be one of them. I know for a fact real estate doesn't work. So maybe what I'm thinking of doing is like going after people that are podcasts and then offering some sort of podcast campaign where I like offer to clip their service. This is an old campaign I ran that was actually promoting myself for podcasts. He's a YouTuber at 30K subs who makes videos around AI automation. If I go back here and then I zoom out, go full 12 months, I had almost a 12% reply rate on that campaign. More than a third were positive. Instantly is not very good at getting all the positive replies. So what that means is my actual positive reply rate to this campaign was like 4.5%. So, this is a very different thing. I'm offering to be on their podcast, but it's evidence that I can generate results. Like I can generate some sort of outcome. Like email is not magic. You can figure it out. Nothing is magic. You can figure everything out. So let's do it. What I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to start by duplicating my videography campaign. So just go over here and then I'll duplicate. Then go 1, I'll go 2, DU, and go videographers. I'm going to duplicate this now. Okay, now that I'm looking at this, I need a different way of naming these so that I just have all of my daily updates one up at the top. So I'm actually going to go daily update 1 website agencies like this. And over here, I'm going to rename this to daily update 2 videographers. Now, if I sort by name, which I can do, if I refresh, I'll have all my daily updates ones up at the, I'm not going to have them all up at the top, will I? Well, that's annoying. Right. Okay, well, let me just rename a bunch more then. Watch me start 1 videography. This is going to be watch me start 2 website agencies. It's going to be watch me start 3 real estate. And this is how I'm going to segment them now. I'll do the platform or whatever that I'm doing them on. And then I will do, if there's a video or something or an era, then I'll do that after. And then I'll have the audience at the end. That makes sense to me. Okay, so website agencies, videographers. We should come up with one more niche now, and we should do it quickly. I do like the podcast angle. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this main one here, and I'll call it DU3, and I'm just going to go podcasters. I'm going to go back here now. 1, 2, 3. That looks good. We can now tag these campaigns, I think. I think we should be able to tag them. I don't know why I can't. I tagged them earlier. Yeah, there we go. So that I'm just kind of organizing myself a little bit. This third one here, we'll go down to the bottom. We're going to go tag. We'll go daily updates, and then we're going to go save. Okay, so first step of that is done. Now the question is, how do I source leads for videographers and podcasters, right? So back in my Watch Me Start and Sell, I have a URL that I could use to source videographers. That's fine. How about podcasters? Podcasters, I can probably make them fresh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by scraping them. And I'm going to go over to Appify, Apollo Scraper, scrape up to 50K leads, try for free. And then I'm going to run 2 of these simultaneously. The first one is going to scrape using my videography. And then the second one's going to scrape using podcasters. We're going to hit 10K records for each. I'll run them simultaneously so that I could save a bit of time. And then I should be able to upload these tomorrow. Okay, so how do you make this? Well, first things first, I'm just going to delete this save search because I guess before I do, I should probably just use all of these titles to find videographies, right? So I'm going to use videographer and I'm going to see what happens. Like a videographer. Then I'm going to open up 10 tabs and just right off the top, see how many of these are people that I might actually be interested in working with. Video production, website design services, corporate real estate, events, and weddings videos. Nice. That works. Langley, Canada. Cool. I actually deliver. So 1 out of 10. 2 out of 10. 3 out of 10. I don't like that. 4 out of 10. I'm just busting your balls. This one's kind of mid. Still, social media focused media agency that does video production. This is kind of mid, so maybe we're down 1. This is a creative agency and not a videography agency. Melbourne-based video production company. I guess now I'm thinking about it, I'm probably not really going to be able to discuss, talk to people that are from Australia. So maybe I'll cut those out. Anyway, cool. So 9 out of 10 in this literal first search here is, what company keywords can contain a website? That's annoying. I should probably remove that. Sorry, did I have more when company keyword contained website? No, I had 30. I didn't even see. Don't include keywords. Okay, I mean, this isn't enough people. We need more people. So maybe we should do videographer. Maybe we should do videography. Videographer. Production agency. Production. No music. Can we go negative keywords here? I've forgotten. Exclude keywords. Music. No, music specifically. I don't want musicians. I want music. Semiconductor production. Okay, well, this obviously multimedia production. Okay. Yeah, no, what I want is like videography agencies. Okay, what we could do is we could type creative to find all creative agencies. Okay, this will exact match all terms with both creative and agency in the title. Maybe go creative video. Creative, maybe go video and then agency. Videographer. Creative agent. What did I say? Creative agency was here. Include keywords. I'd say agency. Then maybe we just type creative up here. Okay. Could we include the term video somewhere here? I'm sometimes so fast with it that they don't actually want to do my request. We're now filtering out we're now filtering for creative agencies or agencies that have the term creative in them that also include the term agency and video. This is mid. This is mid. We could do the term agency and then go video, and then we could also go video production. If we do agency up here, we can remove agency from here. Then we have video and video production. We should now get a subset that is almost all video production agencies. I'm getting Cloudflare because I'm opening a lot of tabs. I probably shouldn't be doing this. I don't want to get blocked, especially not IP blocked from Apollo. Oh shit, I think I might have just been IP blocked from Apollo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't know what this is. Hmm. I need better internet. Okay, well, I'm going to call that a 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so of all of those, this works. This is my videography audience. So what am I going to do? Pump this in? 10,000 records? I mean, how many records we actually got in here? 13,007? Why not, right? We're going to call this videographers. Next, we need to do the same thing with podcasters. So to be clear, what I'm doing right now is I am identifying my audience by using various keyword combinations, stacking them together, then looking at the results and identifying how many of those people I think I could realistically sell. I'm going off gut feeling here. I'm just making sure they're totally not in my target audience. And those companies that I showed you guys earlier were pretty reasonable. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after podcast store. Podcast gives me 281, probably because I'm sorting out video production. I type in podcast, and I only have 1,591 people in this area. Where do I find people that are podcasts? Founder, co-founder, CTO. I mean, like, if I just remove all of these, how many people are there at podcasts in general? The lag here is hilarious. If I remove all these filters, I get 14,734. Definitely don't want a chiropractor. The Dude and Bird Show. Okay, well, now that I'm looking at this, I am getting significantly more people. This is good. So I do now have significantly more people. The question is, who the hell are these people? German podcast. We can't do that. I don't know how to speaken the Deutsch. We could hard code the term podcast. The thing is, most of the job titles here are the term podcast, so I don't know where they are in here. This is going to be quite unqualified, but you know what? When does that ever stop me? Let's do it anyway. 13,000? Let's go 14,000. This is now my podcast audience, save, start, and I'm running. Now, is this the best source of podcasts? No. Is it the best source of video production companies? No. I'm going to roll with it anyway, but I want you guys to know that I always just do this as a first pass. And after I'm done with this as a first pass, I will actually go and I'll look for like podcast directories. So in reality, there's probably a podcast directory where I could like go in and I could scrape podcasts. You know, I don't know if I scrape using this or something. Pod Chaser, right? I want as many podcasts as possible. But the question then becomes, could I scrape this list? Let's just go network. Let's exit this out and let's just sort. If I try and find the section that has the term Pod Nation, what am I getting here? Looks like I'm getting an object that hard codes everything in a JSON string under script knots. So this right over here is where all of the data is, right? Pod Nation right over here. Now the thing is, if I get a link here, if I click on this, I may be able to scrape this, which then contains all of these. Now, why don't I just go to podcasts, go podcast by ranking? Why don't I go new podcast? Probably feel like they need this more. We got to make sure language is in English. Then if I check out this, then I refresh with my filter, I could type in simply Bitcoin. I'd find what we need is we need a domain or this podcast is hosted because I can then source it using something else. Is there a domain here? Do I have to click through? Shit, I think I have to click through. Official website right over here, epicenter.tv. So I'm going to go back here, refresh this one more time, and I'll type in epicenter.tv. Okay, the website is not available up here, which is annoying. If it was, realistically, we could scrape all websites with a call to this page and then some pagination. If I have all the websites, I can then take all that data and then pump it through some email enrichment service like an email finder. So what I need to do if I want to continue some sort of podcast audience is I need to find some data source that I could, scrape that's not Apollo. Because when you scrape solely using Apollo, you are scraping using the same leads that everybody else has done. I should also apply these same filters to Vane.io. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to copy this, paste this in. Let's just match this up now. Is there some way to just is there some way to automatically match? Okay, well, anyway. I think July 3rd, what I'm going to do is I will duplicate audiences and test versus Vane.io. Sales Navigator to Vane.io, right? Anywho, suffice to say, this first step now is done. I have the leads ready to go. I guess it's not fully done. I need to write the copy now. So maybe I'll take that off. Now we'll write the copy. Okay, videographers, podcasters. Cool. Sequences. So I'm going to take a very similar copywriting angle and I'm going to apply it to a different audience. Let's see, videographers. I need to make a modification of this because everybody else has been doing this. Let's go here, sequences. Let's go to my analytics and see, has any one of these been outperforming recently? I should have C, D, and E now, no? Is there no C, D, and E? Why do I not see any C, D, and E? I only see A and B. That's annoying. Obviously everybody's responding to this, but are these just not happening? Weird. Well, that's odd. I don't know what happened, but I thought I'd be able to add this back. Wow. 10% bounce rate's huge. Insane. That's going to crush me given long enough time. Whatever. That's a problem for tomorrow. It's funny. I used to run a videography agency and I scaled that to $10,000 a month too. Wow, it was $9,300 a month, something like that. I find people hiring videographers, editors, then pitch them the custom videos. This looks good. We'll just go first name, Q. That's fine. We can remove this last variant. We'll use previous step subject for now, just so I can get this off the ground. Looks like I'm not using this one. Why? I guess it didn't work very well. Because this is old, I can now just delete this, and then we can do these three. Any variables here? I don't think so. Okay, done. Let's do this now. Let's now take some inspiration from my old Apollo campaign. What was the highest performer here? C looks like it had a 6% reply rate on its own, and then step 2A had an 8% reply rate. So C, I guess I just didn't run enough. Podcasters, I lead with the fact that I ran a YouTube channel at 150,000. That's pretty good. Oh, should I do that? If I do that, it's a little too much social proof, isn't it? I think it's fine because most people here can claim association with some sort of brand, but like podcasts love this because they think you're reaching out to them to like get them on a get the person on a podcast. So I think I'm just going to paste this. Runs a around 150K YouTube. Told me to reach out. Given the nature of your work. Hmm. Your sub YouTube channel told me to reach out. Reach out. Given the nature of your work, was wondering if you wanted. Was wondering. Hmm. Hmm. We could also run a podcast campaign that actually listens to portion of their podcast and then pumps the transcript in AI, rewrites it, paraphrases it, and then gives us some cool variables. I know this is out of left field, but I was listening to your pod last night on blank and something and XYZ hit me. That'd be very powerful. To make a long story short, builds outreach systems specifically for podcasts. Hmm. Nick runs outreach for podcasts, pitching them on an Oh, well, I guess that's what we're doing right here, right? I feel like the value add for the podcast would be crazy. Be crazy. We have to have had this with the videography campaign, did we not? Okay. Okay. This is cool. This is cool. This is cool. We're going to do this. It's going to be sick. Various podcasts. It makes. Let's just go pods. Oh, but I work. Runs a sub YouTube channel as on various pods. Basically, well, this should buy us some interest. I don't really know how the hell I'm going to transition that into a pitch, though. Hmm. Podcasts, various pods. Basically, we built an AI that automatically converts long form content like podcasts to short clips for social media. Costs cents to run. We do this at our own podcast. Just Google Nick Saraev podcast for more. One sec, I'm just getting a call, and I think this may be my. Is this my bank Or is this some spammer? Oh, yeah, no, I'm fine. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm getting calls from TD because they see the millions in my bank account and they want me to invest it in some bullshit product. No, thank you. Okay. Basically, built an AI that automatically converts long form content like podcasts or short clips social media contents to run. We do this at our own podcast. Just Google Nick Saraev podcast for more. If I do this, what comes up? Mm, okay, I mean, like, this is probably about as good as I'm going to get. It's to run and has generated tens of millions of views. His shorts have generated tens of millions of views. We do this at our own. Do this in-house. Just Google Nick Saraev podcast for an example. Helped us scale to 300K a month at 90% margins. Similar long form style, although obviously all about automation. So you, as I think, your pod is one where you could easily scale like crazy if you had a fully automatic pipeline. Also, in my experience, this is a really easy win to offer podcast clients. It takes no work. You can add a few $100. Takes no work, and you can gift them a bunch of high quality reels of the recording for free or for a fee. Okay, I think that's probably reasonable. Okay. So let's preview this. Do I have leads? I don't think I have leads. Hey, Peter, I know this is out of left field, but I work with Nick Saraev. He runs 150K sub YouTube channels on various pods. Basically, we built an AI that automatically converts long form content like podcasts or short clips of social media. It costs cents to run and his shorts have generated tens of millions of views. We do this in house. Just Google Nick Saraev podcast for an example. Helped us scale to 300K a month at 90% margin. Similar long form style, but obviously all about automation. But I want to see if I could build a similar thing for you, as I think your pod is one where you could easily scale like crazy with a fully automatic pipeline. If you made your pipeline fully auto. Also, shamelessly, this is a really easy clients. Maybe I shouldn't say shamelessly. Also, in my experience, it's a really easy win to offer podcast clients, takes no extra work, and you can give them a bunch of high quality reels of the recording for free or at cost. Full transparency. Transparency. I'm I would like to do this for you because I see a lot of potential. Okay, what I should do is I should get an AI that strips the company name and gives the company name to me. So the potential in whatever, right? See some monetary potential in blank. It's a good niche and, in my opinion, quite underserved. I don't want to sell you anything until you are happy. And so if you're open, I could set it all up front up for you at no cost. Term. I'll pay for it all myself. Etc. Would you let me know if there's any interest here? Assuming you're in, I get back in you 72 hours. So with a quick, and if there's no right fit, no hard feelings, just want to put that out there. Okay. And if it is, I can connect you to for a quick chat anytime. Just shoot over your cal slash whatever you used to book. Thanks for the time. Okay. One more time. This to me is the main one. I mean, the rest of these I don't really care about. So we just turn these off. This is kind of BS. We'll just turn, yeah, podcasters, delete that. Delete that. This is the good one. Send message. Oh, I got to fix this up too. And a 150,000 subscriber YouTube channel. Nick wanted to see if there'd be interest in a collab, and then I'm just going to say see previous email. Okay, cool. Nice. And I just realized I got to go to the videographer sequence and then change this from website. Oh, never mind. That sounds good. Okay, cool. So now I have my 3 sequences. This is now 2,500 done. This is now 3,100 done. I have the scraper going and running autonomously in the background. I think what I'm going to do is after I'm done with this, like just before tomorrow, I'm going to run it through a big icebreaker flow because that just doesn't take any extra time on my end. Well, it's going to take me like 3 minutes, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then I'll be able to circle back here with everything. So to be clear, what I've done is I've gone from 0 to 1 with the lead gen. Everything there is good. So now I want to find something that works a little bit better. I mean, I'm obviously capable of generating leads, and I obviously have to get back to all these guys. But for me, this is just like a sanity check. So iterating cold email copy. I mean, that's just what I did here. But let's just jump over to sequences and see why this isn't working. Like I really want to be able to like see the variance here, but I'm not getting any data. So there's some issue. I feel like I can't add sequence steps after a sequence is started and then get like analytics on it, which is stupid as hell. Very stupid. We should filter this by sending activity. And then we should can we see which one we sent? Are these all step 2s? Oh, you know what? These are all step 2s. That's why. I ran through the whole sequence with new people, I think. So they're exhausting all step 2s first, and then they'll send the rest of these. So I can't actually iterate on these yet because I don't know how they're performing. And obviously, I need now to break my volume down from what it is right now, which is 1,950 outbound on the pre-warmed, divided by 2, which is around 925. And then I got to divide that by 3. So 925 here, 925 here, 925. Sorry. My bad. 600 here, 600 here, 600 here. We got 2 steps to each. So it's actually going to be 602 or 300. So 300 a day on this, 300 a day on this, 300 a day on this. Preliminary results here, 0.4% positive reply rate. We'll figure out the 2 positive reply rates on these other campaigns, and we'll see how these things go. And then what I'm also going to do tomorrow is I'm going to set up macros. Respond to all current opportunities, which I know is annoying, but plus set up macros. Okay. That looks good to me. We're now going to check this off. And now what I'm going to do is I will just open up these, and then because on my Upwork applications, I do not want to seem like I'm using this. Nice, we got a bunch more. Beautiful. Using my channel as clout, I am going to remove most of these and instead just work off of my social proof. The goal for my Upwork applications is I'm going to filter out everything that's not expert, and then I'm going to make sure to only click payment verified, and then I'm going to go top to bottom, prioritizing the new jobs. This one is $20, but this guy has over $20,000 spent. Across 315 hires with a $6 hourly rate average, it doesn't make sense for me. A lot of people ask for GHL nowadays. HubSpot and Zapier. Simple automation tool that can streamline our outreach process. Nice. Well, this seems cool. I don't know what that would look like, but maybe I'll jump on a call with them. Google Sheets to Meta Ads integration via Meta API. No, thank you. Lean technical startup. Product man. Oh, I don't want to be a product manager. This is a cool. I like the strategy consultants. 5 hours ago. I think I'll apply anyway. Learn while we fix. No, I don't like those. Jobber. It's Canadian. This one's $30 an hour, but I could always expose myself to this. And then they see and listen, they hear me talk, and then they go, oh my goodness, who the hell is this guy? Because it's clear that I'll have deep domain expertise in what they want. Revenue share role? AI full stack. Well, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty rough. I'm going pretty far back now. I think what I'll do now is I'll type NA in. I don't like the 11 hours. Self-hosting. Rough. The self-hosting troubles. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I qualifying for all these? Cool. So now I can just exit out the ones I don't want. I don't see what I'm looking for. Fills out search forms and clicks around the website. Cool. This is probably what I would use for that. That sounds really fun. I'll move this here. Cool. Product manager. No, thank you. Okay. I think realistically, I should probably leave it at that. Is this the best? No, that's okay. My God, do these people ask for a lot? Jesus. Why would you ask for this much? Well, I understand. If I were submitting a job, I would probably ask for at least that much. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so what am I going to say for these guys? Web automation expert needed to build lead outreach tool. Hey, how's it going? I was just reading through this and I thought that I had the perfect solution for you. X. I'm very familiar with scraping. I'm actually just running an instantly campaign right now to do whatever, and then I'll showcase probably these because these are pretty solid response rates. Cool. I'm also an N8N template creator. Okay, cool. How about this one? Strategy. Okay, that sounds good. I mean, the action items seem interesting. All right. Let's open this up. Let's just bang out these three. Also, I'm kind of curious. Why don't we set up a timer? Hey, Nick here. I'm an AI process automation engineer, and I just saw that you were looking for somebody to help you build a lead outreach tool. Thought I'd just blow your socks off with a quick video on it. Specifically, I was looking around for tools that would allow you to do what you wanted, and I stumbled across Firecrawl's new Fire-1. To make a long story short, the main issue with what you're asking for is there's just so many different forms on the internet, and they all have different, HTML structures, and they have different things that happen when you click a button and whatnot. The reason why this solution would work is because it's agentic, so it doesn't actually just look for a specific line on a page or whatever. What I would do is I would take that big Google sheet that you have, and then I would route it so that every one of these, let's hypothetically say this is a websites column, and this is like my own website, and this is maybe another one. It would go onto that website, load it in a headless browser, which just means it's an actual browser that's open, not a HTTP request. Then it would look specifically for, I don't know, search form or whatnot, scroll all the way down to the bottom, add the data, press the button first, and then you could also scrape whatever the retrieved data that you want is. So, like, if we're going to make the HTTP request anyway, we should probably also just grab some data from the website, right? You're just talking about identifying the form, but like, why not also, I don't know, take some information about the page you already made the request. We can summarize it using AI and then add it back to your database. So yeah, I mean, I do have tons of experience with all these frameworks, but I just wanted to run you through how I would solve this, just like with the modern tech stack. It would be simple for me. I would create it in N8N probably. N8N is like a visual workflow / no code tool. I'm actually a verified creator on N8N, just published like 4 templates a few days ago. And, a couple of these are popular enough that people make YouTube videos on them and stuff like that. So very, very skilled with scraping, would consider myself one of the foremost scrapers on this platform. And yeah, I think that whatever purpose you would want this for, I'd be more than happy not only to work with you on the specific gig, but maybe discuss a little bit more strategically how you could scale something like that up. If you guys need consulting on like maybe the better way to accomplish the same thing with fewer resources, I'm more than happy to do that as well. Consulted with a bunch of 7 and 8 and 9-figure companies. I've also consulted with Hewlett Packard on more or less what you're asking for here, some form of lead outreach optimization. So the hourly rate, just to be clear, I would charge more than $50 an hour. But if you're comfortable maybe stretching that budget a little bit, I'm confident that I could do it in less than whatever the proportional amount of time it normally would take. Alternatively, we could bid a fixed price gig where you just know 100% of how much money you're going to spend. We don't have any overages. I scope something really nice and tight for you, and then I deliver it to you with a little bow wrapped on top. I'll leave all that up to you, but if you just want to get back to me with a message, we can set all the stuff up. Really appreciate your time. Looking forward to chatting. Thanks so much. Bye. That's number 1. Hey, my name's Nick. I'm an automation strategy consultant. I just came across your post literally looking for that. Blew my socks off. So I thought I would record a video just telling you why I'm the perfect fit. Extraordinarily confident that there's nobody else better on Upwork to handle your needs than I. I do exactly what you're asking for 24/7. I don't just consult with people on AI strategy. I consult with 7, 8, and 9-figure agencies and SaaS businesses on how to implement AI into their stack, then also how to avoid some of like the most common AI issues too. So I know you mentioned this example project where you get these Microsoft team meetings, and what you do is you take the transcript, turn it into a bunch of action items, and add them to Asana or something. We could do this using, let's say, N8N. Which is the number 1 no-code platform right now, with some sort of like agentic flow, and we definitely could. I could also consult with you on maybe a bespoke solution. I could possibly build something out for you in like Bolt or Lovable, these vibe-coded tools that you might have heard a lot of. However you would want something like that done, whatever the stack that your business currently uses is, whether it's Make, N8N, Zapier, or any one of these other tools, I totally could. I would probably, in this case, go grab like a recording from Microsoft Teams. Now, there's either going to be a built-in here, or we'd probably watch Microsoft Teams recording and see if we could get a webhook, which I believe we can because I've done these projects before using an MS365 connector. So just as an example of how I deal with this specific project, I would go and I'd find an incoming webhook for when a recording is done. I would then take that recording, and then I would funnel that into a module in make.com that allows us to feed it into AI. So, I mean, in your case, you're using the Microsoft Teams stack, so you guys have access to the Azure backend and stuff like that. But, just as a side, you probably know what GPT-4 is. Then we'd spit out basically a list of action items, and then I just feed that into a little Asana node over here. And then Asana would iterate through the list of action items, which would be an array of, like 1, whatever the specific things you want are here. We'd take each of those, and for every one of those items, we'd feed it into Asana. And then we could also do other things at the end, like maybe we could deliver some project manager notification, letting them know what items were added to Slack. We could also potentially have, let's say, a human in the loop sort of thing where maybe we make a new little widget or bubble on Slack or Discord or Teams or whatnot. And then if the person if the person clicks approve, then it gets added, and then if not, it doesn't. So anyway, the reason why I'm telling you this is whether or not you needed just that project or need that you provided to me as an example, or more or less anything that's AI or automation related, more than happy to sort that out for you. And my goal isn't just to work with you guys on a one-time project. Like, I obviously love these one-time projects, and I can definitely deliver above and beyond what you're expecting. But my goal would ultimately be to work with you on a long-term basis. some sort of retainer where you and I can really get to know each other. I can get to know the business, and I can start suggesting maybe some strategic or tactical changes that can make your guys' company operate better, obviously from a revenue and saving standpoint. So just putting all my cards on the table. Hopefully everything I'm saying makes sense. But yeah, that would be the idea here. I'd knock this out of the park for you, and then we'd work a little bit longer term. So I'm going to get to filling out all of these questions. If you have any for me that are in addition to the ones here, just feel free to send me over a message and I'll get back. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye. Okay, a little bit meandery there by the end, but that's okay. Hey, Nick here. I'm a prompt engineering specialist. Just came across your post looking for more or less that. Thought I'd blow your socks off with a quick video. So, I mean, you talk about AI prompt engineering. I think I more or less wrote the book on this, not to toot my own horn, but I can't think of a more qualified person on Upwork to deal with what you're asking. I started prompt engineering way back in the day with GPT-2, which was the forefather to GPT-3, which is the forefather to ChatGPT. So, for the last 6 or so years, it's more or less been all I'm doing. And I've gotten so good at it that I've started posting a bunch of templates on various no-code platforms. So this is N8N, which is a quite popular place to do prompt engineering nowadays. And what I did here just recently, about a month ago, was I created a template that automates Instagram content discovery and then repurposes it with Apify GPT-4o, one of the many models we could use, and then Perplexity. So right over here is an example of a prompt where I provide a context section up at the top where I'm telling the AI what to do. I give it a task. I then give it an output format, in this case, JSON. Then inside of that JSON, I have a bunch of data that I have it spit me out. And the reason why I do it in this format is because when you talk to AI, like, some sort of API, it tends to communicate in an API. It's a lot more reliable. It's a lot more accurate. And then you can do things with its outputs. For instance, because I prompt engineered this model to return, news archives to find mentions of tools I can repurpose, I then get a variable of verdict, which allows me to filter. I then get obviously tools, which allows me to find, do some data extraction. I get step by step, which is basically like some sort of logic. Then I also get suggestion. Then finally I get search prompt, which allows me to output like a prompt into another LLM. So this is like prompt stacking. This allows me to get multiple data points from just one input. And, it's something that I think any advanced prompt engineer would have done in this situation. Just wanted to run you through a quick example of like the sort of prompt engineer that I would bring to your guys' use case. Okay, so it's hard for me to say more about specifically how I would help, just because, you mentioned how you want a prompt engineer, but like, if you had some specific use case you wanted me to flex my skills on, show you the quality of my work ahead of time, more than happy to work through that. But otherwise, hopefully that floats your boat and you have everything that you need in order to make the decision. Really appreciate your time. Hopefully we could knock this out of the park. We continue working together in the future. That's what I look for, long-term relationships. But either way, more than happy to sit down with you, have a quick chat, and then scope out how we'd get this thing done. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye. Awesome. So we did all of that in 8 minutes and 54 seconds. Let's now start again. And I'm just going to go over here and then I need to do a CV. So how do I do CVs? Well, a few days ago, I set up a template bank right over here with a cover letter template. All I do now is I just paste them. This saves me a fair amount of time because I don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of, writing a customized cover letter. Okay, so this guy asked for web automation experts. So let's say web scrapers, browser automation experts. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this browser automation stuff and then I'm just going to paste this in. And then I have a bunch of BS that I have to fill out related to here. So let's just move on. We'll just feed this in. And then what did this person want? AI automation strategy. Then what did this person want? AI prompt engineering and workflow specialists. Prompt engineers on Upwork right now, 6+ years experience, started with GPT-2. Here's a vid where I show you an example prompt I could build you live. Okay, that seems reasonable. Let's say yes. I always start with the prompt's end goal in mind and work backwards, i.e. what is the data that needs to be generated? I then hard code this into, I then run evals, performance tests. I then generate multiple prompts and run evals, performance tests to determine the highest accuracy percentage, then choose the winner. and move on. Okay. I discussed this deeply in that Loom video. Tons of experience working with 7, 8, 9-figure companies. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. I know that all these guys are going to ask me for similar projects. Cool. And then this one was anything else? No? Okay, cool. So the 77, my God, 77 for this? Oof, rough stuff, man. This is about $5 to $6. So I know what most people are thinking. They're thinking, my God, Nick, you're spending $5 to $6 on this? Well, the answer, well, anyway, let me just finish this because I'm on a timer right now and I want to be realistic. Let's see. What are the 5 tools? Instantly.ai. Let's do instantly.ai. Opus.clip, primarily media businesses, N8N, or make.com. Some sort of proposal automation software, Panda Doc. What else do I do? Let's think. Project management software. That's AI enabled ClickUp usually. I favor simplicity over everything. What is the minimum number of tools that I can weave together, to fulfill the intended purpose? Very anti-bloat, and it's reflected in everything I do. Okay, that's cool. I'm extremely certified, N8N verified N8N creator and make partner. GitHub and or website? Sure, that's fine. Frameworks, everywhere. Frameworks, kind of BS question is that? Everything. Also an Appify partner. I think Appify partner. I think it's that partner program, right? They call it partners. Yeah, I think so. I think I'm technically an Appify partner. We're just going to give it a try and see what happens. More or less everything, custom, Next.js, Puppeteer, Playwright, Fire crawls, new Fire 1. I mentioned it in the video. Iterative. I get up and running as quickly as possible and then iterate from there. Now, I could just copy and paste the same thing on all this and just say, hey, I discuss it in the video. Hey, I discuss it in the video. Hey, I discuss it in the video, but I'm not going to here. Okay. So 8 minutes and 56 seconds plus, let's say 4 minutes because I was talking for a fair amount of that. That's 13 minutes divided by 3, average of 4 minutes and I think 20 seconds per. Not bad for somebody that hasn't been on the Upwork wagon in quite a while. So pretty stoked about that. And while I'm not going to sit here and pretend that all of those, oh, sorry, the camera did the thing where it's low quality again. And while I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, that quality was the best quality that I've ever done in my life, I really don't care about that at this stage. All I really care about is just getting up and running. If I can get up and running, I'll worry about all that quality stuff later. Okay. All right. So how long did I actually spend working on the agency today? It was about 50 minutes. In that time, I received an additional reply. The reply rate of this campaign went to 0.8% instead of 0.7%. It's probably going to keep on creeping up to 1.3. I then created 2 more campaigns. I'm actually sourcing 2 audiences for those campaigns, did a bunch of copywriting iteration, and then obviously did those Upwork apps. I want you guys to know that I did that in just 50 minutes. And this is me just riding by the seat of my pants here. You guys can do significantly more in both the same amount of time because you're not narrating everything out loud like I am. And also, if you guys just spend more time on the agency, you guys will see significantly better and faster results, okay? Gonna leave it there. Hopefully everything I'm saying here makes sense. Really stoked about all those opportunities I'm generating. That's pretty far. And by the way, if anybody has any ideas as to that last point that I made on the video about me not revealing a bunch of client stuff because you guys are going to poach it later, the people here with bountiful hearts, please let me know your thoughts on that. If there's any solution that I could, implement that would eliminate that downside risk, that would be great. Because otherwise I'm going to generate relationships with these leads and then I'm just going to have to throw all those relationships away because they'll eventually just be pestered by a million billion people. Just wanted to let you guys know where I'm at with that. Okay. So thank you very much.